Welcome everyone, thanks for stopping in. Here we're going to broach the keyway into the spur gear. I've got the spur gear held in the small chuck so the back of the gear is against the jaws to support it. That way I don't have to squeeze very hard to hold it in there, risk damaging the teeth of the gears. I've got the small chuck held into the big chuck, the big 4-jaw chuck, so I could dial everything in to center. The tool bit I'm using is a 1/8 by 1/8 high-speed steel tool bit, which I've ground the end to a 60-degree angle, keeping it as square as possible and sharp as possible on the end. I've got it clamped underneath a larger 3/8 by 3/8 tool bit, so the clamping screws of the tool holder will squeeze nice down on it better. And we'll just bring the cut in at 2/1000ths at a time with the cross slide and move the cutter in and out with the carriage slide. Every once in a while we'll just peck away at it as it seems to be a bit tough going through, but we're going in half the distance of the 1/8 inch keyway is what it's going to end up being. So half of 125 thou is 62.5. Okay, now we'll do the dog. Same thing, I've got it held in the small chuck, but I have a couple of 1/8 inch tool bits behind it acting as a chuck stop, so it has something to rest against as we cut in and out. And same thing, we just advance the cutter 2/1000ths at a time. Move it in and out to make the cut. And on this side of the bore, we're going in, like I said, 62.5 thou. And on the shaft, we'll have to probably go a couple thou deeper on account of just the way the keyway will sit into the bore. Okay, we'll move to the mill and do the shaft. Measure that at 0.370 thousandths. And we'll get the edge finder in here. We'll find the edge of our shaft. You'll notice as we bring the shaft towards the edge finder, it'll spin into concentricity and then break off to the side like that. And that tells us we're on the edge. We'll set our 0 and we'll check it one more time. There it breaks. Okay, 0 looks good. Bring it up and we'll move over half of the 370. Edge finder is a 200 thou tip. So we move 100 thou to be in the center of that over the edge, and then another 185 thou, half of the 370. And take a look at the end and see that visually you can see it's in the center. Okay, and we'll put the cutter in, a 1/8 inch cutter, end mill, flat nose end mill. So as we begin our cut, we're going to have to ramp. So we'll bring the cutter down in as we travel down the shaft. So we're creating a ramp down, and then when we bring the shaft back the other way, that'll cut the ramp out of it, flatten it again. So each time we ramp, we're moving down 20 thousandths, and then bringing it to each edge to flatten the bottom out again. Like I said, we'll go down to, instead of 62 thou, we'll go down to about 66 thou, about an extra 4 thou, just to compensate for that curved feature of the top of the shaft and the inside of the bore of the spur gear and the dog. And we'll just work away at ramping that down to depth. I think we're there. Let's try the dog on there. Yeah, it looks like it fits pretty good. You can see the little keyway which I ground for that, just out of another piece of the 1/8 inch high-speed steel tool bit. Okay, now we can just traverse to the other side of the shaft to do the keyway for the spur gear. Same thing, we'll do it in a ramping style. As we bring the cutter down, we travel with the shaft, creating a ramp at the bottom of the cut. Travel back the other way, cut that ramp out, rinse and repeat. This flat nose end mill is not center cutting. That's why we're using the ramp down, because we can't plunge it in like you can with a center cutting. Clearing the chips periodically with just the air. Checking to make sure we're getting to the edge of our markings. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Let's assemble the winch again with the keyways in place. Shaft and spur gear into the gearbox. Pinion gear into the gearbox. Drum over the shaft. The key into the keyway. Get in there. Oh. There we go. Dog over the shaft onto the key. Drum freewheels. Dog engaged. Drum does not freewheel. Pedestal over. I'm using Lubriplate number 105 assembly grease. Make everything nice and slippery. Okay, let's wipe a little of that extra grease off. Yeah, that all looks pretty good. Again, thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment, ask a question. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.